They said it wasn't humanly possible. All the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand.
In 1989, we got one of the best-selling video game consoles of all time. The portable Colossus, the original Game Boy from Nintendo. Just started out with Tetris, had a great video game library after that. The console was in production for 14 years.
I know, I can't...
That is unheard of.
That's ridiculous.
And it basically introduced the idea of playing video games away from your TV. And it was a little limited, but despite those limitations, they came out with some fantastic games.
Well, the funny thing is, its competitors had better hardware, but no one cared.
Yeah. And with that said, we're going to give our top 10 Game Boy games, because now we're playing with portable power.
Now you're playing with power. Portable power.
As with all of our lists, we limit our picks to only 2 entries per franchise. We do not include remasters or ports because they already had their time. However, remakes are fair game. DLC will be discussed if available, but will not influence slot placement. Also, if we have not played a game, we can't evaluate it fairly, so if we left out your favorite game, that's probably why.
If you didn't grow up in the 90s, you will never understand how important digital pets were. But when we found out that there was a digital pet on the Game Boy, we just had to have it. The Tamagotchi game was just so much fun. It was 3 players.
Not really.
Kind of. Yeah. You could take care of 3 pets at the same time, which didn't always work out very well.
No.
Yeah.
But
no.
Growing up as 3 brothers in the same house, we didn't have 3 of each Game Boy. We didn't have 3 of each game, so it was rare that there were 3 sets of save files on a game. So the fact that we each got our own digital pet was awesome for us, but also we would plug it into our Super Game Boy and play it on the big TV, but sometimes we would, be arguing with each other, so we would purposely not care for the other's pet and let him stew in his own poop.
Send it home in the rocket ship if you were tired of it.
Yeah.
You could just get rid of it. It was great.
With Tamagotchi, the Game Boy game, you finally had a digital pet that worked on your schedule.
There's a certain genre of games that I'm not a huge fan of, but when you put a spin on it like this, I love it. Pokemon Pinball was way more fun than it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the music was the main thing that hooked me at first. For some reason, when you flip the ball up, it's just got this catchy little tune, and then it's pinball. I mean, you're just bouncing a ball around. Pretty basic, but then I forget the exact circumstances, but then eventually a Pokemon pops out and you got to bounce the Pokepinball into him multiple times to catch him.
Yeah.
I think you had to gather the words, it was a CA and then a T and then a CH, and you had to fill out catch something on the board or something.
Yeah.
They had different wormholes you could go into for different bonus rooms where you could just hit the crap out of Meowth to get coins.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I don't think it had all 150, but it had a decent bit of Pokemon. I think.
Oh yeah.
We caught Mewtwo.
Yeah, Mewtwo's in it, and he's hard as shit.
Yeah, that was difficult.
You couldn't use them, but they were there, and it was just cool to have a basic little pinball game, but with a Pokemon spin.
Now, back in 1989, the Game Boy had first come out. There wasn't too many specifics just for the Game Boy. It had Tetris, but Tetris was also on NES and stuff like that. But then they introduced the powerful pink puffball known as Kirby, and he changed everything. Granted, he wasn't pink at the time because
I was about to
Game
say
Boy was all on the dot matrix system. But Kirby Kirby's Dreamland was just so fun. He didn't have his copy ability yet, and I mean the game only took like 40 minutes to beat, but it was still a lot of fun just being this puffball that could fly around and eat people and slide into them. You ate their projectiles and then shot it back at them. It was just a lot of fun. It was one of the best portable games because, I mean, if you're on a quick road trip, you can just beat the entire game.
Oh, yeah. And there's not a good story, but there's at least a story to it. And the Game Boy didn't have a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true.
At all. At the time.
But Kirby's first outing was one of his best, and it would not have been anywhere near as good if it wasn't on the Game Boy.
One of the most unique experiences I had on the Game Boy was Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land. It was one of the first times I'd ever played a game that I was basically the villain.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's completely different from a Mario game because you're just gathering treasures and killing stuff.
His whole goal in life, that's what Wario loves, is treasure.
He had his awesome like shoulder tackle. And
yeah, you got the tackle. You could get the bull hat and just charge through everything. Get the dragon hat, just burn stuff.
Yeah,
Dragon hat icon looked like a penis.
yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah,
like
so
I don't know
fun.
what Japan thinks dragons looks like, but it's not that.
No.
He also had his jetpack helmet.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And then at the end of the game, there was like that genie.
Yeah,
That was a really cool boss fight, especially for the Game Boy. And just a lot of good level design, and just all around good fun.
Well, here's one of the stranger entries in the Mario franchise. Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. Weird. It's weird. It's really good, but it's weird. Like, there's no Bowser, which is cool. You know, I like when they introduce other villains, but it's weird.
well, yeah, you get carrots and you get flying rabbit ears and
Carrots for the rabbit ears. You fight the 3 little pigs as a boss.
the 3 little pigs.
Why?
And
Go
then
to
you
the moon and fight that Martian. And
introduced Wario, which was cool.
Yes.
Yeah, big.
He was massive in that game, though.
Yeah. But one of the most long-lasting Mario side characters came from a Game Boy game. It was just such a big deal, and it was such a fun game. It's just, the bird was a really fun fight. The octopus, the Martian, Wario himself was pretty tough from what I remember.
Yeah, because he could get the same power-ups you could.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and it was a silly, ridiculous, weird game, and showed a strange side to Mario, and I absolutely loved it.
Metroid 2! The Return of Samus was one of my favorite Game Boy games. One of my favorite games. It just took everything about the original, threw in a new form, or a bunch of new forms for the Metroids, showed a little bit more of their life cycle than we'd ever seen before or since. And just, I mean, it wasn't a massive level, but for the Game Boy, it was a massive game world.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that was such a big cavern to explore. And a lot of good power-ups.
Spider Ball, most importantly.
Spider Ball was amazing.
God, yes.
It made everything better. And a lot of those Metroids were just scary to fight.
Yeah, the alphas,
Yeah.
like the betas, every form of Metroid. Like, if you killed enough, the next one would come, and it was even worse. Like, I think the Zetas were the highest one.
Omega. Yeah.
That's it. They were horrifying.
They were almost Queen.
That's why she kills them when they're babies.
Yeah.
She needs to keep doing that.
The Queen, God, that
The
thing was
Queen.
horrifying.
Brontosaurus from hell. Oh my God.
That's
like,
perfect.
It's like a xenomorph put an egg inside a brontosaurus.
That's a lot
That's it.
But as the commercial warned us, be afraid. Be very afraid.
The afraid. Be very afraid.
After the all-out hit the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was on the Super Nintendo, Game Boy had to do something a lot like it to compete with it, and they succeeded with Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. This is one of the weirdest and like most fun games in the Zelda franchise because you're on this Koholint Island and you're going and gathering up a bunch of stuff. There's chain chomps in it.
Yeah.
It like
Goofus.
introduced or popularized the endless cycle quest where you get one thing, you get it to someone, they give it to someone else, then you give it to someone else, and so on and so forth.
And then you get the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's normally like a better sword or something. But also, big introduction of Rock's Feather. Like, Link can jump for the first time, and it was glorious. And, I mean, the whole thing is just some weird, like, blinged out whale's dream, but the whole game was just awesome.
It introduced a little darkness to the franchise too.
It really did, because everyone...
They're all dead.
Yeah,
They never existed.
Yeah.
Did they have souls? There's so many questions Link's asking himself now, stranded in the open sea.
Except, if you beat the game 100%, that girl got to live on as a seagull, which was her dream.
Well, that's a terrible life anyway.
Pokemon. The journey's just begun. Pokemon. The more, the better. That just sums up this revolutionary game. It came out of nowhere. Like, nobody knew what it was. A lot of people thought it was, the devil. And,
Forgot about that.
like, they advertised it with mailing us a VHS tape, which we used to have. I don't know where it ended up. But 150 creatures. You go catch them, catalog them, battle them. Just whatever you want to do, basically. It's your adventure.
Oh, man.
And it came out like right with the anime in America, at least. Like, it was pretty
And
close.
it was
So
like that had never happened before, really.
Was phenomenal. Like, there was... This was back before the internet, so there were so many schoolyard rumors about
man.
stuff you could do that you couldn't. Like, you could use strength to move that truck by the SS Anne, and that's where Mew was, and...
You could get in behind Gary's lab and do fusions.
Yeah.
And find Pika Blue. And
Pika Blue, that was a big one.
ended up it was Meryl. But Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow started a global phenomenon that continues to this day.
How do you beat one Zelda game? You bring us two Zelda games. Oracle of Ages and Seasons were two fantastic Game Boy Zelda games. They were technically Game Boy Color exclusives, but we're counting that with the Game Boy line because it's the same. It's just got color. But two separate games that, when you did all the passcodes, were the one game. And you beat Ganon at the end only when you've beaten both. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It really was. I really liked how both games kind of had their own traits. Like, Oracle of Ages was more focused on puzzles, while Seasons was more focused on action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're very similar games, but wildly different at the same time.
Yeah, Seasons environmental puzzles were all about changing the seasons to like walk on a snow section or get rid of trees or whatever. In Ages, you literally just traveled in time.
Yeah.
It's just great.
And they brought in the Magic Ring system that I thought was really cool.
You could trade them.
Yeah,
like you trade 'em.
it was like a trading game in Zelda. And you could be like, man, I can lift rocks now. I can turn into an Octorok.
Yeah.
Two pretty cool main villains too.
Oh, yeah.
Onyx and
Viren.
Viren.
Yeah.
They were just pretty cool. Onyx turned into this big dragon, and Viren was like a tornado. Or
She
something.
possessed Lanayru.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that just so good. All of them were so good.
Plus animal buddies.
Animal buddies. And you could carry your animal buddy over from whichever one you chose to play first. So, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons gave you a damn good reason to beat all 16 dungeons, to put down Ganon once and for all, for now.
Pokemon. The journey's just begun. Again. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal is easily the best Game Boy game. Like, these Pokemon games took what was great about the previous ones, Red, Blue, and Yellow, and just ramped it up to the next level and beyond. They only added in like 100 new Pokemon, but good God, were they 100 like good ones.
Most of them, yeah.
Dunsparce is trash, and there were some other trash ones, but I mean, you had Totodile, Cyndaquil, and Chikorita as starters, all solid starters. You had an awesome like journey through all 8 gyms, went to the Elite Four, beat it, and then trick, journey's not over, because now you can go to the region from Red, Blue, and Yellow and beat those gyms.
And both title legendaries had really cool backstories.
They really did. Yeah, it was one of the first times the legendaries got the cool backstories, because in Red, Blue, and Yellow, the legendary birds didn't have much said about them other than, hey, I heard this electric bird lives in this power plant.
Yeah.
And I would argue that they had a better bad to good Pokemon ratio than Generation 1 did.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because Generation 1, people look at it, I think, with nostalgia glasses on. Because of that Tangela.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not to mention, Generation 2 introduced 2 new amazing types. You got Steel type and you got Dark type. Both were awesome. And you got 2 new evolutions, Espeon and Umbreon. You got breeding, and no one has ever looked at a Ditto the same again. But these 2 games were just that phenomenal. I mean, if you can bring these on the go and trade, that's the most fun you can possibly have on the Game Boy.
Hey, thanks for watching. Did you like the video? Why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? It really helps us grow the channel. And don't forget to ring that bell to join our notification squad. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I put the links in the description just to make it easier for you to get to. And we will catch you next time for the next video from the Brotrio.